Students, today let us learn about some more interesting options in Scratch. Although a computer is a smart machine, yet it needs instructions from us to do any task. A computer does not understand English, so we have to give instructions to it in a special computer language that it can understand. This language is known as the programming language. Scratch is a programming language designed for the children to enhance their computing skills. It enables the children to create their own games, animated stories, and projects. Scratch language provides objects to which we can give commands to perform different actions. In Scratch, these objects are known as sprites. Let us discuss features of Scratch first. Scratch is available free of cost. It is easy to understand and learn. It increases students' interest in programming by providing graphical environment. Instead of writing text or codes, predefined blocks are snapped together to create the script. It allows playful experimenting with program segments. Let me share an interesting fact with you. Scratch is developed by the Lifelong Kindergarten Group at the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology Media Lab, led by Mitchell Resnick in 2003, with financial support from the National Science Foundation, Intel Foundation, and the MIT Media Lab. The first official website of Scratch was launched in 2006. Okay, let me tell you components of Scratch. Let us learn about various components of the Scratch window. Sprite. Sprites are objects that perform various actions in a Scratch project. Scratch provides a number of inbuilt sprites. By default, the cat sprite is selected and displayed in the middle of the stage. Stage. It is the main working area to draw pictures or perform actions. Stage is the place where sprites move and interact with each other. It is divided into X or Y coordinate, which shows the position of the mouse. The values of both the coordinates are displayed at the bottom right corner of the stage. Sprite list. It displays the thumbnails of all the sprites that we have selected below the stage. Blocks palette. Blocks palette contains various predefined blocks that are used to perform specific tasks. Script area. The collection of stepwise instructions given to a sprite is known as script. Script area is place where we pick and drop the blocks to create a script. Sprite info pane. Click on the info icon present on the top left corner of a sprite thumbnail to display the sprite info pane. It includes information about the selected sprite as well as few tools for manipulating the sprite. The tools include sprite rotation style buttons, circular arrow. The circular arrow enables full rotation of a sprite. Linear arrow. The linear arrow enables a sprite to only face left or right. Disable rotation. It disables rotation. The sprite will remain facing 90 degrees no matter what. XY coordinates. These coordinates indicate the position of a sprite on the stage. The horizontal line is labeled as x-axis and the vertical line is labeled as y-axis. The point at which the two axes meet is the center of the stage and is known as origin. The origin is represented by x is to 0 and y is to 0 coordinates. Direction. It includes how the sprite will turn when it executes a move instruction. 0, up, 90, right, 180, down, -90, left. View full screen. View full screen mode or presentation mode button is located at the top left corner of the stage. Click on the button to view the presentation of your project in full screen mode. Tabs. Scratch provides us with 3 different tabs, namely scripts, costumes, and sounds. All 3 tabs have different tasks to perform. In addition to these, the Backdrops tab appears only when we select the stage icon to add any inbuilt background on the stage or to paint a new background. Stage icon. The stage icon is present at the left of the sprite list. Clicking this button will add the Backdrops tab in place of Costumes tab. Using this tab, we can import any background on the stage. Cursor tools. Cursor tools are located at the top of the Scratch window. There are 4 different tools to perform different operations on sprites. Duplicate. This option creates a duplicate copy of the selected sprite. Delete. Clicking on this option will delete the selected sprite. Grow. As the name suggests, this option helps us to increase the size of the sprite. Let us find out how to increase size of the sprite. Select the Grow button from the toolbar. The mouse pointer shape changes into 4-headed arrow with an outward direction. Now place the pointer on the sprite and click on it. The size of the sprite will increase. Shrink. The function of Shrink button is opposite to the Grow button. It helps to decrease the size of the sprite. Now let us learn how to decrease size of the sprite. Select the Shrink button from the toolbar. The mouse pointer changes into 4-headed arrow with an inward direction. Place the pointer on the sprite and click on it. The size of the sprite will decrease. Block Help. Selecting the Block Help button will change the mouse pointer into a question mark. Click on any block in the blocks palette with the question mark. A pop-up window appears that shows quick tip for that specific block. We can also open the Tips window by clicking on the Tips option placed on the menu bar. Time for the fact file. Scratch 2.0 is the current version introduced after Scratch 1.4. It has the vector editor and allows us to edit projects directly from the web browser or in an offline editor. It was officially released on May 9, 2013. Okay, let us learn how to add a new sprite now. When we open Scratch, by default the cat sprite is present on the stage. We can create a new sprite, import it, or use the available sprites in our project by selecting the New Sprite option. Let us discuss each one of these. Number 1. Choose Sprite from Library. Scratch contains many exciting inbuilt sprite options. Clicking on this button will open a Sprite Library dialog box, which provides multiple options of sprites. Number 2. Paint New Sprite. Clicking on this button will open the Paint Editor window, where we can draw a new sprite. This window provides many paint tools. Use the tools to draw a sprite and fill any color from the color palette of the Paint Editor. After the sprite is completed, click on OK. The stage will have similar sprite as we draw in the Paint Editor, and it will also be added in the sprite list. While drawing, we can also increase or decrease the size of the sprite by using the zoom buttons. Number 3. Upload Sprite from File. Clicking this button will open the Select Files to Upload by app:/scratch.swf dialog box that offers a facility to choose sprite from the file stored in a computer system. Number 4. New Sprite from Camera. This option opens the web camera of our system, provided our system is enabled with it. It allows us to click an image and use it as a sprite. Another fact to note is that Scratch can easily run on different operating systems including Windows, Mac OS and Linux. Students know that sprite's name. The name of a sprite can be changed by clicking inside the box that displays the sprite's name. Okay, let us learn how to work with two sprites. We have learned how to add a new sprite on the stage. Let us make a project using more than one sprite. Open the Scratch window. Remove the cat sprite by right-clicking on it and selecting the Delete option. Click on the Choose Sprite from Library button. The Sprite Library dialog box will open. Choose People from Category section and select the Ballerina sprite. Click OK. Now select the Costumes tab. We will notice Ballerina A, Ballerina B, Ballerina C and Ballerina D costumes under the Ballerina Sprites costume list. Select the ballerina's A costume and adjust its position on the stage by dragging it to the desired position. Again, select the Choose Sprite from Library button and add James Sprite from the People category on the stage. Select the James B sprite from the costume list and place it as shown in the figure. Select the sprites one by one and start creating the block stack step by step in the script area. Create scripts for both the sprites separately as shown in the figures. Click on the green flag button located on the top of the window and observe the two sprites talking to each other. Another fact to note is that we can also perform actions on the sprite by using the keyboard keys. The block in the control block menu runs the script when the specified key is pressed. We can select any key from the drop-down list of block. Another point to note is that to remove a block, right-click on the block in the script area and choose Delete option from the menu. Likewise, we can remove a sprite by right-clicking on a sprite on the stage and selecting the Delete option from the list. Let us learn how to set sprite position now. The Scratch stage is 480 pixels wide and 360 pixels high. It is divided into X and Y grid. The middle of the stage has an X coordinate of 0 and Y coordinate of 0. To find out the X and Y positions of the sprite on the stage, click and drag the sprite and observe the change in the coordinates displayed below the stage. The X value determines the horizontal location of the sprite and the Y value determines the vertical location of the sprite. The X value of stage can range from 240 to -240 and the Y value can range from 180 to -180. Look at the figures and consider it as Scratch stage. The easiest way to set a sprite's position is by using blocks from the Motion Block palette. Now let us create a Scratch project by specifying the sprite's location on the stage. Drag the When Clicked and Forever blocks from the Control Block palette to the script area. Select the Move 10 Steps block from the Motion block and place it inside the Forever block. Change the step value to -100. Drag the Wait 1 seconds block from the Control palette and place it beneath the Move -100 steps block. Now, click and drag the Set X to 0 block from the Motion block on the script area and change its value to 100. Again, pick the Wait 1 seconds block and place it after the Set X to 100 block. Add the Change Size by 10 and Change Color Effect by 25 blocks simultaneously at the end of the script. Change the value in Change Size by 10 block to 5. Click on the green flag and observe the sprite changing its position, color and size on the stage. In a similar manner, we can change the value of Y coordinate using the Set Y to 0 block. Note that Show and Hide blocks display the sprite on the stage or make it disappear from the stage respectively. Another fact to note is that in Scratch 2.0, the picture on the stage is called a backdrop. In Scratch 1.4, it is called a background. Students, let us learn about setting the rotation style. We can also set the rotation style of the sprite by using the rotation style buttons present in the sprite info pane. Let us use these options in the Scratch project. Open the Scratch window, delete the cat sprite and add Jane walking sprite on the stage. Open the Sprite Info pane section by clicking on the icon at the left corner of the sprite. Select the linear arrow rotation style. Drag the blocks on the script area. Change the values of the blocks as shown in the figure and click on the green flag to run the script. Let me share some interesting facts. The sprite can also be made to glide on the stage to a specific location by using the glide block. Let me share some interesting facts. Graphic effects change the look of the sprite in different ways. Okay, let us learn about changing pen shade now. In Scratch, pen block instructions are used to draw a trail as the sprite moves on the stage. Each pen color has different shades that vary from the lightest to the darkest. The pen shade varies from 0 to 100, that is, 0 is the darkest and 100 is the lightest shade. Let us observe this with the help of a given example. Delete the cat sprite and add butterfly 3 sprite on the stage. Select the pen block palette. Click and drag the Change Pen Shade by 10 block on the script area. Drag the Set Pen Size to 1 and pen down blocks and place them under the Change Pen Shade by 10 block. Change the value to 10, Set Pen Size to 1 block. Now select the Motion Block menu and drag the Move 10 Steps block on the script area. Now select the Repeat 10 block from the Control Block menu and place it over the script. Click on any block in the script and observe the sprite drawing a line with a change in the pen shade. Students know that if the pen shade is 0, then the pen color will be close to black. If the pen shade is 100, the pen color will be close to white. Let me tell you that blocks with a rounded top, such as or, can only be placed at the top of the block stack. Okay, let us find out how to change backdrop of the stage. The new backdrop icons are used to change the background of the stage. We can either create our own backdrop or choose any backdrop from the available built-in options. Scratch provides 4 different options to change the backdrop of the stage. Let us learn about each one of them. Number 1. Choose backdrop from library. To choose a backdrop from the Scratch library, click on this option. The backdrop library window pops up. The library is divided into 2 sections, category and theme. Select the desired theme, choose any backdrop from the displayed list and click OK. The selected theme will be set as the backdrop of the stage. Number 2. Paint new backdrop. This option will open the Backdrops window editor, where we can create a new backdrop window according to our requirement. Number 3. Upload backdrop from file. Clicking on this option opens the Select Files to Upload by app:/scratch.swf dialog box. Select the required file for backdrop and click on the Open button. The desired image will be uploaded for the backdrop. Number 4. New backdrop from camera. Selecting this option allows us to click an image using the built-in camera of our computer system and imports it onto the stage as a backdrop. Students know that we can also record our own sound in the project. To record our own sound, we need a microphone attached to our computer system. Okay, let us learn how to play the instruments in Scratch now. The sound block provides different blocks to add music to our Scratch project. It also provides music based on different instruments using the Set Instrument to 1 block. This block sets the type of instrument that a sprite uses to play the note. There are 21 different inbuilt instruments from which we can select the desired one. We can also set the notes for the instrument for required number of beats. The notes are signified by numbers. Let us create a dancing sprite project as shown in the given figure. The sprite used here is the Cassie dance present in the people group, and the backdrop is the spotlight stage present in the music and dance group. Students, let's know the fact. Also, you can right-click on any block and select Help. A short description of the block will appear in the Help dialog box. Students, while selecting the note, always remember the higher number will pay the higher pitches. Okay students, let us take a recap of this chapter. Scratch is a free programming language designed for children to enhance their computing skills. Sprites are objects that perform actions in the Scratch project. We can add a sprite by selecting the New Sprite buttons placed at the bottom right corner of the stage. Paint New Sprite button will open the Paint Editor window where we can create or draw a new sprite. The Scratch stage is 480 pixels wide and 360 pixels high. It is divided into X and Y grid. The X value of stage can range from 240 to -240 and the Y value can range from 180 to -180. A sprite can rotate by using different rotation style buttons present in the sprite info pane. Pen block instructions are used to draw a trail as the sprite moves on the stage. We can add music to our Scratch project by using the blocks in the sound block menu.